Luthor was introduced in Action Number 23 in April 1940. So all of these things, all of these very famous elements that are part of the way we think of Superman had all come about prior to the Fleischer cartoons that we're going to see right now. The Fleischer cartoons were dynamic and wonderful and contributed a lot also, but I'm just trying to, kind of paint the scene. So, so the next thing that happened, all of this publishing was going on. And then in 1940, was the Superman radio show started. So when the Superman radio show began, my dad heard that they were talking about making this deal. And so he wanted to write that, and he wanted to write any movies or anything along those lines that were going to come up that were related to Superman, because he knew the character best, and and he wanted to participate in that. And interestingly, he was told that he was just a human and he wasn't a Superman, and he already had his plate so full with all of the other things that he was writing that he should concentrate on the publishing. So that's what he did. And but it was the first time that there were Superman stories that were based on things that he had written that were not actually written by him. So that was the radio show. And then along came these wonderful Fleischer cartoons that we all know and love. And Paramount made the deal with Detective Comics to make the cartoons. And they hired the Fleischer Studios, fantastic animators, to actually do the animation. And the Fleischer Studios were going to do it, based very closely on the mythos that was appearing, that everybody knew in the comic books and also in the newspapers, because that's what people were going to pay to go to see. They wanted to see, the Superman that they knew and they loved. They didn't want it to look different. They really expected to see something new, the character that they loved brought to life. And so that was, the mission of the Fleischer Studios, and boy, did they deliver on that. They did a fantastic job with it. Now, once again, my dad was too busy, to write the stuff, and it's not clear whether or not he was even, asked to do it or couldn't do it, or, I'm not exactly sure, but he didn't. And, but Joe Shuster wasn't as busy. He didn't have as much on his plate at that particular time. And so Joe actually went down to Miami. I don't know how many people actually know this, but Joe went down in 1941. And Joe's mission was to make sure that the cartoons looked as much as possible, as they appeared in print. So one of the things that Joe particularly focused on, and you'll see it in a minute when I roll the cartoon, is the face of Superman and Clark Kent. Lois Lane looks a little bit different, because it's, again, in just, in the three-dimensional renderings that you have, a lot of things had to look a little bit different, but it really is amazing how much Superman's face and Clark Kent's face remained the same. So I know that you're gonna all enjoy seeing this. This was the very first one. 1941 is when this was released. Actually, it debuted exactly on September 26, 1941.